This ESPN podcast is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com.
The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The B.S. Report. The B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the B.S. Report. Hazy Monday here in Southern California. We have a lot of good stuff coming this week. Did a podcast with Larry David. Did a Boogie Nights breakdown with Joe House. That's coming this week. And we also have the Grantland Basketball Hour, Thursday, 7 p.m., ESPN. A lot of good guests on that one. Stay tuned for that. Right now, a very happy Cousin Sal. How are you?
I'm good. I apologize to the listeners. They're going to have to wait at least another couple weeks before hearing my meltdown, my annual meltdown.
Yeah. It was one of my favorite holiday traditions. I don't know. How does this work out now?
Oh, don't worry. It didn't go away. It's just delayed. That's all.
What? I'm looking at your last two games. Let's see here. So
home against the Colts at Washington.
Oh, so the Colts game could be the meltdown.
Sure, yeah, either one could be. I mean, why not at Washington? And they still haven't flexed the game to Week 17 yet for the schedule, and it would seem like it would be Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, or Green Bay, Detroit. But really, all anyone wants to see is Tony Romo succeed or fail. So why wouldn't it be Dallas at Washington Sunday night, Week 17, for their fourth Sunday night game of the year? There's no way of winning all four, right?
This is ludicrous how many night games you guys are playing. I feel like I've watched the Cowboys more than I've watched the Patriots. Yeah. Romo was great last night. The Eagles have lousy cornerbacks, and they have a lousy quarterback. So that was good. That was good for you. Yes,
and let me just say, Tony Romo, first player in NFL history to go 3 road games consecutively with 3 passing touchdowns and no interceptions. I'm going to put the phone down for a second.
Fantastic. And then
I can keep that going for another hour or so.
And then on top of that, so he's 28 TDs, 8 interceptions. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's got a 110.4 passer rating, second in the league.
Keep it coming, yeah.
He's 80.2 QBR, third in the league.
I like that. I don't even know what that is. I like that.
Yeah, he's thrown for almost 3,200 yards. Mm-hmm. Probably not getting to 4,000 this year, but they're not asking him to throw the ball a lot. He's having one of the all-time good game manager seasons, I would say.
You just what did you do? You just crapped on it. You just did a nice thing.
I didn't crap on it.
Lead up and then call him a game manager.
No, I mean that in a positive way. It's not like a game manager like, hey, Alex Smith managed the game because you can't do anything.
Right.
He's kind of come in and out of the games depending on when they need him, but it's not like they've been relying on him over and over again, series after series, to win these things. I still don't think your defense is good enough.
No, it's not good. We showed up yesterday, but there are definitely some holes. And, quarterbacks, maybe a better caliber of Mark Sanchez can and will exploit us down the road. And he did on Thanksgiving anyway. So I'm worried about what would you do? We're going to have to make a decision, the Cowboys are. And I say we because I fully expect them to call on my help. We have to either take Dez or DeMarco Murray. Which one do you go with?
Dez.
Yeah.
Because I think you have Adrian Peterson next year. Everyone knows that's how this is going to play out. Come on.
No,
you know he's going to be on the team next year.
I don't know. That's not why I would say Dez, but I think, everything indicates it's the strongest offensive line in the game, or top 3 at least. And DeMarco Murray's great. He's a workhorse, but somewhat replaceable. But Dez Bryant, once every 10, 15 years, a guy like this comes along, I think.
I think no question Dez Bryant, and I think it is incredibly easy to find running backs.
Yeah, there you go.
It is 100 times easier to find a running back than it is to find a quarterback. Mm-hmm. For some reason, Indianapolis has not been able to find the Jonas Gray, C.J. Anderson type guy that just seems to be on every team waiting to rush for 100 yards. And it's ruined fantasy football completely.
Well, my buddy Darren and I were talking about this. Like, why not go after 2 running backs who can carry the ball 15 times? You could probably get those in the 4th, 5th, 6th round of the draft, Yeah. If you have a strong offensive line, and that's the way to go.
I'm starting to wonder if in fantasy football, we've talked about this before, but now I really think we need to consider is you draft teams instead of the actual players.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Well, having come in last, I would expect you to come up with any other solution than what we went through last year.
First of all, I was second to last. That's not fair. I was second to last.
Let me ask you one quick fantasy question. Which team do you take? The team that is ahead 19 points with Kenny Stills, or the other team that has Forte and Bennett?
Oh, God. I think Stills is a slight favorite.
Oh, good. All right, that's me. That's my team. Okay.
I don't trust the Bears.
All right.
That's going to be a weird game tonight.
Yeah, it is.
You know what bothers me about this season? I feel like I've been doing pretty well on just like picking the marquee games and stuff like that. It's the games like Giants versus Washington that have just killed me this year.
Right.
Just these meaningless, stupid games that I put 2 seconds of thought in, but when my annual picks record, it counts as much as the games that I actually put real thought in, like the Buffalo game.
Yeah, it doesn't seem fair that you have to. Everything has to be weighted the same. And we might as well talk about that game real quick. Did you get the sense? You know, we're done dumping on RG3, I think. I got the sense that if he gets that call where he dove for the pylon and the ball slipped free, I think he turns his career around just on that one play. Like, it was already doing well. I was watching that game.
Yeah.
And I also think that's too harsh a penalty. I know it's not a penalty, but a punishment that you fumble it and you just lose the ball. That's it. You get nothing out of it. Like you can't advance a fumble anyway inside of 2 minutes. So why don't they just call it dead where he fumbled it? I don't know. I just hate the Giants. I'm sorry.
Would you, if you were a GM, would you rather have Kaepernick or RG3?
It's funny. Man, that is rough. I don't know.
Kaepernick's had like a nervous breakdown.
He really is. He's got those stupid 49ers headphones, and he seems like a little 6-year-old boy that has to get done playing the game so he can get home and get his headphones on. He can't do an interview without them. He's a wreck. He's a wreck. He's jogging to the line of scrimmage down 2 scores in the middle of the fourth quarter. You know. Yeah. I don't know what it is with him.
Yeah, he somehow brings a lot to the table that I didn't like about Donovan McNabb without any of the things that I actually liked about Donovan McNabb.
Right. Yep.
I don't know. He will be on a different team next year, it feels like. Or I don't know. I don't know how that plays out. RG3 feels like he'll be on a different team. I don't know if Manziel is in football next year. I try never to overreact to a first start, but
oh man,
I think that was the worst performance I've ever seen.
Yeah. It was awful.
It looked like they pulled him out of the stands. It looked like he was a fan that was picked to quarterback the game.
I didn't expect it to be that bad, but toss this in the, we should have called and talked about this before the game, bin.
Yeah.
Everyone was head over heels in love with the Browns yesterday. From a gambling standpoint, the line moved 5 points. You know, here's the Bengals, who they beat by 3 touchdowns in Cincinnati. This is a battle of Ohio. If any team's pissed off, it's got to be the Bengals defense and Andy Dalton, who, threw 3 interceptions against them. That I thought was an easy call, though I didn't want to bet against the Browns. I thought the Steelers was going to be easy. The Falcons 1-9. Out of division or out of whatever it is, terrible. So we blew it on that.
Well, my defense for in the Browns yesterday is Hoyer had been so bad for 4 or 5 weeks. I just figured even if Manziel was mediocre and made 3 plays with his legs, that was a huge upgrade. Mm-hmm. And instead he was, I don't know. I've seen a lot of bad quarterbacks in my day, and that one ranked up there. We had a couple friends over yesterday. We're like Rembert was here. Rembert was laughing. When people rarely do you watch football where people are just laughing hysterically at football plays.
Are you sure he wasn't hungover from your party the night before?
It might have been. It might have been a hangover thing too. But I just you look at what the Browns could have done versus what they did do in that first round. They easily just could have stayed where they were with the 2 picks and taken Sammy Watkins and Teddy Bridgewater.
Right.
Just could have stayed. Just didn't have to do one thing. And
instead they have. It is early to say anything, I think. But
I don't think it's early.
Really?
I don't think it's early at all. I would rather have Sammy Watkins than anything that happened. And then they end up with that Buffalo pick, and that's, it looked good on paper, but now that's going to be somewhere between 16 and 21.
Gilbert's a pretty good corner for what they got, as far as coverage corners.
Congratulations. Pretty good. Oh, good.
Well, you got, what do you go? You go against Ben Roethlisberger, who you can't cut his head off and have 4,500 yards. You have to. Well,
the other problem is they traded down. They didn't take Beckham.
Right.
They didn't take Aaron Donald, who's a monster on the Rams.
Right.
So it was. I don't know. I didn't really like what they did.
It was a deep draft, and definitely if you didn't take a wide receiver, you could say you swung and missed. But I don't know about these quarterbacks anymore. Like I was watching that Vikings game, and I can't believe they blew that. I was so mad. And I think Mike Zimmer gets his first loss that it's on him this year.
Yeah.
We needed, as a Cowboys fan, I wanted the Lions to lose. And just like when Teddy Bridgewater's converting on 3rd and 5 running, just do it again and again and again, especially like a Lions defense that over pursues and gets in deep, and Zach, the running quarterbacks don't run anymore. Like, I don't want to hear about it, how Mariota's going to run. He's going to do great things. And these other guys Prescott and Hundley, all running quarterbacks, forget it. They're not going to be used like that in the NFL. So just let's not talk about it anymore.
That was a garbage win by the Lions, and they should be ashamed of themselves. And Blair Walsh, that was one of the 4 worst missed field goals of the season.
Well, the one at the end or the one that was blocked?
The one with like 5-6 minutes left. He doinked like a 36-yarder.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
And they blew a timeout. They called a timeout. The clock had stopped with 2:01 left.
Oh, yeah, they gave it away.
Called a timeout, and then they have to try a 68-yard field goal instead of maybe a 61 or 58-yard field goal.
It was awful. Yeah. I don't think the Lions are that good.
No.
I think when do they play the Packers? They're at Green Bay week 17.
That's what's probably going to be flexed, yeah.
Do you think Rodgers should be the MVP, even though, take all my Patriots biases out of this?
Good luck.
If that one play against Miami, it was like 4th and 10, that lucky play where the Miami guy just blew the tackle.
Right.
If he makes that tackle, the Packers are 2-5 on the road right now.
Interesting. Wow. So then you give it to Brady. Well, he's 1 to 10 odds to win it right now.
Rodgers?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. It should be wide open. It's too bad Fitzpatrick broke his leg yesterday, because I think Houston, I think they would have won that game.
It is too bad. If you consider that was my best bet on SportsCenter, it is too bad that they were winning and then tied, and Tom Savage has to come in and blow it. But
didn't you get a push out of that?
I got a push, but I really did. I did think they could win. You thought they could win too, right? They were looking good.
I'm not sold on that Colts team at all, and I think you're in good shape with the at Dallas Week 16 game.
I'm looking ahead for us, which I not that I want to bet against Andrew Luck in the first round, but Luck, Dalton, and Lindley or whatever's going on for Arizona, I think that first week is what we should be targeting.
Well, they just can't run the ball at all, and the other team knows it. They have nobody who's dangerous even remotely coming out of the backfield, and now it's a little bit easier to play Luck. The Colts are a really soft 3 seed, if that's the 3 seed. I like all 3 AFC North teams better than them.
Definitely.
But yeah, Houston, if they won that game, they would have been 8-6, and then I think J.J. Watt, who was awesome again yesterday,
teams on a bunch of plays. Yeah.
I think if they went 9-7 or 10-6, I think you would have to seriously consider him. Do you feel like you can win the most valuable player if the team doesn't make the playoffs? This is something like the stat heads and the advanced metrics people feel really strongly about, that it shouldn't matter how your team does. And I think it goes too far in that scenario. I think you should have had to have enough of an impact on a winning team. Yeah. And if you weren't on a winning team, I'm sorry, but you weren't on a winning team.
Right. And so you say they shouldn't get it if they're not on a winning team.
If the Texans go 8-8, I don't feel like I could vote for Watt for the MVP.
I don't know, man. You can't ask for a lot more than what he
I know, but it's like, great. All right, well, thank God for him. We went 8-8.
But it's not like basketball where there's 5 players. So you have the best players have 30% input. Like this is football. You have to rely on a lot of lucky stuff around you. Like I don't know. You can only do so much as one player. So you can't buy 6 wins, NFL wins, whereas a basketball player could probably buy 10 or 12. Well,
my thing with the MVP is, I think the number one thing to do is just replace the guy with an average person in his position. What happens to that team? Mm-hmm. So if you just replace J.J. Watt with an average defensive lineman and person.
Yeah. Okay.
Are they 5-11?
Right. All right.
They're 4-12. Like if you replaced Aaron Rodgers with who's the most Eli? Let's replace Aaron Rodgers with Eli. Right. What happens to the Packers?
They go to hell?
Maybe there's not an MVP. By the way, I've been on the record with this too. I'm fine with rolling it over if there's not a clear-cut MVP. Make the next one worth two.
I think Aaron Rodgers should have to record a sack if he's going to beat out J.J. Watt. They should play, a whole series on the defensive line.
I don't feel good about the Rodgers pick.
No.
They lose by 20 in Seattle. Mm-hmm. They score 7 points in Detroit. They barely beat Miami. They get killed in the Superdome. They beat the Pats. They only put 26 on the Pats, which he was good in that game. He wasn't great. And then sucks in Buffalo.
Right. I don't know. You got a fat Eddie Lacy. You have receivers who now are sort of household names, but weren't before. If unlike you're going to compare it to Brady, like what would the Patriots record be without Gronkowski? What would you say?
I mean, that's the problem with the Brady candidacy is that I think Gronkowski is the make or break guy in the team. Mm-hmm. But if you replace Brady with name a mediocre quarterback, Alex Smith, I don't know. We're certainly not 11-3.
No, definitely not.
The Patriots have had the most impressive season, I think.
Definitely.
Because, and I'm not just talking about records, like they beat the crap out of good teams.
And I think this is the point of the season where good coaching stands out too. And Seattle and New England have it. I mean, to go in the second half and make adjustments and shut out Miami and San Francisco like they did yesterday.
San Diego, yeah.
No, Seattle shut out San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, so that's a feather in both their caps, Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick. They need praise.
Pats beat the Bengals by 29. Mm-hmm. They beat the Bills by 15. Beat the Broncos by 18. Beat the Colts by 22. Beat the Lions by 25. Won in San Diego last week by 9 and killed the Dolphins by 28.
Yeah.
That's a really good run.
Yep. They're rock solid. You can't poke any holes in them.
The other thing with them, they've only lost one legitimate game this season. The Week 4 Chiefs game when they got their ass kicked.
The Green Bay, you say, was either or.
Yeah, I think that was an either or game.
Yeah. That's good. They're plus 260 to win the Super Bowl. Seahawks plus 300, 3-1. Packers third at plus 550. Broncos plus 650. And then the Cowboys at 12-1.
The Seahawks-Pats Super Bowl looks too easy.
Yeah.
And anytime a Super Bowl looks too easy, it never happens.
Right.
By the way, speaking of easy, I'd like to thank both the Seahawks and the Patriots yesterday for the 7-point tease that I felt really good about all week.
Nice.
Just nice one. Like, who was screwing that up between Seattle and New England?
We'll get to that, but you're going to want to bounce back big time with those same teams and the Packers.
Okay, let's do it. We have a Thursday. We have 2 Saturdays.
Oh, man.
I love when we have the Saturday games.
Yeah, they should.
We talk about this every year, but that's the marriage and trouble special, the Saturday doubleheader. They're like, really? There's football Saturday and Sunday this week?
This is when you're supposed to be Christmas shopping with your kids for your wife, and you just don't get around to it because the Redskins are home for the Eagles. Yeah. No, but Thursday night is atrocious. It's Tennessee at Jacksonville, 2-2-12 teams. What do you have the line at?
Phil Simms said last week he was excited for this game.
He did?
Yeah, he did. He said during the broadcast. He just said it unironically. Hold on. I got to look at my lines. I don't want to cheat. I have.
Oh, come on. We've already spent twice as much time as we need to on this.
I have the Jags by 3.
Yeah, you get it. I don't know why I went low on this. I said Jags by 2, and it is 3. You hit it exactly.
I don't think the Titans are interested in winning.
Seconds. I got a migraine, so I just put 2 down.
I don't think the Titans are interested in winning anymore.
Well, that is what's interesting. Jacksonville does seem to show some fight. They just don't have the talent. But, yeah, Titans won the first time 16-14. And somehow I'm going to have to come up with a 2,000-word prop column on this Thursday. That's Tennessee at Jacksonville. Saturday, Philly at Washington.
So
4:30 Eastern.
I did my preliminary guesses for the lines.
Yeah.
I had an incredible number of home dogs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't want to give away my guesses, but I have 9 home dogs with these guesses.
I think it is. I think it's 8, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be off on one, but I don't like this Eagles team that much.
Well, what about if Foles is back? I mean, I guess he was even practicing yesterday.
Then I still don't like them that much. I have the Eagles by 5.5.
Oh, wow. You really don't like them that much. I said 7. It's 8.5.
That's stupid. That's just dumb.
I hope you're right. I hope it is dumb.
What would you do? So I wrote a column about Daniel Snyder and the Washington professional football team on Friday.
Nice job.
Thank you. What would you do if you were a Washington fan? The team could go away right now and move to LA, and you get a new team 3 years from now with a new name, but you keep your old history. Mm-hmm. Or you just keep Daniel Snyder. What would you pick?
Oh, wow. You
have no football for 3 years.
I was talking to our buddy Nathan about this. The fans are just, if not for one reason, then another. There's like 10 reasons to be completely upset and, push you to abandon ship if you're a Redskins fan. It's sad, but I don't think Daniel Snyder's helping this team. So whatever the other option was.
That's amazing. God.
Yeah.
Now, so the Knicks, you'd think James Dolan would be in a similar situation, but no Knicks fan would want to lose the Knicks for 3 years.
Right.
So I feel like Snyder's really achieved something special here. Yeah. Congratulations to him.
He's holding his team hostage.
The other Saturday game is Chargers at San Francisco.
Right. You had to think CBS thought this would have major playoff implications at the time, and it's only very minor implications.
Yeah. I'm probably wrong on this, but I think the Chargers should be favored. I have the Chargers by 1.
Wow. I said 49ers by 3.5. It's 49ers by 3.
Yep, so that was the home dog I was wrong on. I don't agree with that line.
Yeah. That's that Phil Rivers subpar performance in a game they probably could have won. I mean, what else do you want? If Peyton Manning's going to sit out a quarter or almost a half being sick.
The Chargers kind of rope-a-doped me. I thought they were done. I was adamant in my column that it was over for them. Mm-hmm. And then who was the team they beat?
They beat the Ravens, right?
They beat the Rams, and then they had that crazy comeback against the Ravens. So it's like, all right, well maybe and then they score 24 points in 2 weeks against the. That's
the problem with a lot of these 8-6 teams, 9-5 teams are the wild card hopefuls in the AFC. Can't string 2 good games together, right? Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati, San Diego, all of them.
I don't like this game. I think it should be a pick 'em or the Chargers should be favored, but I don't like either of the teams in this game.
Yeah.
The way they're playing. The 49ers defense looked good yesterday.
They did. I mean, that was a game they didn't end up even covering the spread. I think they pushed or didn't cover, depending on if you got 9.5, 10. But you had to think if they were going to be up for one game, that would be it, as bad as they've been. So, and they played a great first half.
Who do you think? I was going to read about this as part of my football column on Friday. What's the best rivalry now that Seahawks-Niners is dead?
Oh, is it dead?
I think it's dead. I mean, it's not dead, but I think it's in hibernation until the Niners get good again. But Seahawks-Niners for about 2.5 years was the marquee matchup.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like it has to be a division rivalry because the teams have to play twice. So you can't say Pats Broncos.
Steelers Ravens or Cowboys Eagles.
No, like Cowboys Eagles was on yesterday, and I didn't even care if I saw every play. I don't feel like that can be the winner.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe Steelers Ravens, right? They seem to hate each other, those players.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Lions Packers. What else would it be?
I don't know.
Nothing.
That's
in the
kind
AFC.
of my point. There's not really an unbelievable divisional matchup anymore. So I feel like Pats Broncos, even though they only play once a year, is probably the best rivalry.
Oh, right interesting. Now. Yeah.
Maybe you could say Packers Seattle, but that was a blowout the last time they played. I don't know.
Yeah, Manning Brady is the best rivalry. You could say that, but I don't know. Maybe we spoke too soon. Let's see how this Thursday night game turns out. Titans Jags.
We were talking yesterday about that Zach Mettenberger, who's not playing right now, but He had Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry as receiver, and he still went in the 6th round. So he must really stink.
I know. Yeah, it's bad news.
That's pretty tough. And then Manziel had Mike Evans, and maybe Mike Evans made Manziel look a little better than he was.
Yeah. So very early. Sunday, Atlanta at New Orleans. Probably for the play. Like we joked all year and saying, "Oh, there's going to be a sub 500 team that wins this division." It's probably going to happen. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a joke. It's really going to happen.
The Falcons are terrible. They are an awful defensive team.
Yeah.
They do every single thing wrong defensively. They have no pass rush. They can't tackle. They can't cover anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect storm of suck.
And they won that first game of the year. We all thought New Orleans would be good. They won a game 37-34. They beat them opening week. And that's why they're still in this. But
I had the Saints by 4.5.
Oh, so you went a little low. I said 6. It's 6.5.
Did I really go a little bit low, though?
Yeah, according to Vegas. But no, I don't know. You can't make any of these teams
coin flip.
Right.
Either of these teams could win this game. That line should be closer to 3.
As our audience, as our agent would say, I wish you a lot of luck picking this game. A lot of luck.
I'm not allowing America to gamble on this game. You're not allowed.
Stay away.
Yeah.
5-9 versus 5-8. All right, KC at Pittsburgh.
Now this is a good gambling game. I feel like I have the Steelers by 3.5.
Yeah, that's what I
hit
had.
It exact.
That's what it is exactly.
Okay,
we split that one.
I kind of like the Chiefs in this game.
Yeah, I do too. I hate
like
that
a nice
I like
matchup for them. Yeah, it feels like a good one for them though. They'll just do that thing where they just dumb screen passes and run plays and the tight end roll out to the wrong side plays and just a lot of that bullshit. And then, I don't know. The Steelers, anytime they're riding a wave of momentum, it always ends badly.
Well, it's kind of what I said. It's like no team shows 2 good games in a row, so one of these is going to have to between Kansas City and Pittsburgh. But
the Chiefs haven't played. When was the last time they played a good game? Let's see.
I don't know. Well, the Raiders. They struggled too much yesterday.
Yeah, the Raiders doesn't count.
Was it the Patriots?
I guess they beat the Rams in Week 8, 34-7. That's pretty good.
Wow, that looks like a huge win now.
But man, it's so tough when you can't throw. Mm-hmm. And against Pittsburgh, you're going to be able to throw a little.
Why isn't it's really just a blurb at the end of every recap for the Chiefs game? But how much does Dwayne Bowe hate Alex Smith and all these guys, these receivers that you make a living catching touchdowns? You negotiate your contract based on stats, receiving stats if you're a receiver. And this guy can't fight. I can't believe that every defensive scheme screws only the Chiefs receivers. Doesn't make sense.
Dwayne Bowe, just cut him.
I know.
If he can go through the whole season without catching a touchdown, there's got to be people like anywhere who are better than that.
He's probably been done a while, but my point is Russell Hustle and Bustle is throwing a curse Baldwin and this guy
Paul Richardson.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I don't know. He should be able to have a touchdown pass once in a while.
Russell Hustle and Bustle has been pretty good lately.
Yeah. He makes big throws.
Because those receivers, it's not like they're getting wide open.
Nothing, yeah. He threads the needle and like the 20 yards downfield. You don't see it much anymore.
So Steelers-Chiefs is the best game so far. I'm not counting Saints-Falcons. That's a stupid game.
Right.
That's like one of those college football games they show late at night, like the Mountain West Championship or something.
Yeah, that's a December 26th bowl game.
They should have a crappy sponsor for that game.
Yeah, Baltimore at Houston.
Ooh. Wow. So who's the quarterback?
Well, I don't know. They brought Case Keenum in, I guess. I didn't like the Savage guy. I actually liked the pick when they drafted him at a Pitt, but he talk about looking down a receiver and just never throwing to anyone else. He did that for the whole game.
I thought Tom Savage went to BC.
No. Did he go to Pitt?
He went to Pitt? It was some Big East school.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Pitt.
No, I think this is right in the Vegas zone. I have the Ravens by 4.5.
Oh, you nailed it.
Yeah.
It is 4.5. I said 2.5. Yeah, I guess the quarterback concern is a big one, but Ravens did not look good yesterday. They did not want to cover on a 2-team teaser.
Yeah, but this is like, I mean, you can't ask for a better situation for them. They have a terrible secondary, but they're going against Case Keenum or Tom Savage this week.
Yep.
Like they won the lottery with the end of the December schedule.
They did. And who is it next week?
It's somebody else terrible.
Oh, it's the Browns, right? Home against the Browns.
They're going against Johnny Clipboard.
Yeah. Let him win that game by 30. That would be great. Green Bay at Tampa Bay.
Oh. Poor Tampa.
No, they're doing exactly what they want.
I guess.
They lost twice to Derek Anderson.
See, I think the line should be 10.5, but they bumped these Packer lines against bad teams. So I'm going to say Packers by 13.
Oh, I get this. Wow, this is a we can do it 30 for 30 just on this pick. I said 9, and it's 10.5.
Oh, that's what I had originally.
Yeah.
I bumped it up.
I know, but I think you'll ultimately be right. I don't see anyone taking Tampa. That's the most fun Marcus Mariota team. He is, yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, well, I always like the Jets. I think whoever goes to the Jets, that's hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah, but that needs to be Jameis. We need Jameis and the Jets. No, we really do. America needs Jameis and the Jets.
He wouldn't last in New York. He couldn't.
I only know a handful of Jets fans, but all of them think Rex Ryan should be the coach next year.
Yeah.
None of them want to lose him.
It's not totally his fault. It really isn't.
Certainly not when you watch the games.
Lovie Smith could maybe lose his job. If you say, like, going into the year, like, Lovie, we're so happy to have you aboard. And as he's leaving, say, oh, by the way, if you lose to Derek Anderson twice, we're going to have to take your job. But have a great year.
I think if I was picking jobs, if I'm like Jim Harbaugh and I'm looking around, like, what job am I grabbing next year where I can take a team from middle of the pack to, like, potentially be a Super Bowl team, I would take Miami. I think that Joe Philbin is just really shaky. Like, it was great going against him yesterday. I had full confidence. He screwed up 5 different times. And,
right.
You know, he just has that deer in the headlights look. And if I'm Harbaugh, I'm looking at that situation. I think Tannehill's good. Like, Tannehill threw some good passes yesterday.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they're down 18, he kind of fell apart. But I think that Dolphins team is pretty talented, and Harbaugh would have an impact.
Good job. If he could hold it 5 years, is Brady on the Patriots in 5 years? Like, maybe there is a shift in that division.
Brady's like scrambling for first downs again.
I know.
It's like we're partying like it's 2003.
I don't even remember him doing it then. It's crazy.
My God.
Yeah.
I love Tom Brady.
That was nice. Speaking of Miami, Minnesota at Miami.
Minnesota at Miami.
6-8 at 7-7. Every week I look at the Vikings record and I'm perplexed. It's 6-8.
Dolphins by 6.
Do we split this? Yeah, I said 7. It's 6.5.
I'm not allowing America to tease the Dolphins. You're not allowed. You be careful of that Vikings team.
I need them to go over 7.5 wins. Just do it already.
The Vikings have not played a bad game since week 6.
Yeah. I was upset with Zimmer. That was a mess yesterday.
Yeah, I agree.
What do we have?
I asked Barnwell this yesterday because I watch football with Barnwell. I'm interested in your take on this. So Minnesota is 6-8.
Right.
They've played 5 either-or games. If Peterson had played this whole season, how many extra wins would that have been worth? They're 6-8 right now. Yeah, you figure it'd be 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
So let's say 3. They're 9-5 right now.
Right. Yeah, they're good.
Because they only played they went through the whole season. The best teams they played were the Patriots, the Packers, the Packers twice, Lions twice, and then I guess the Bills. But they played the dregs of the league. Like they easily could have been the good bad team that went like 11-5 with Peterson.
Yeah, and instead they had to alternate between Asiasta and McKinnon and guys who were injured and
Asiasta.
What is Asiata? What is it?
I like Asiasta.
I like adding a couple S's where it's not unnecessary.
That's a good one.
But the weird thing about them offensively is what happened to Cordell Patterson. Or Cordero. Maybe I said that wrong, too.
Well, nobody will ever know how to say his name. But, yeah, he had a good kick return yesterday. But
I think they bench him offensively. I don't even know what he does.
I think he's yet another one of these receivers that have all the tools but just don't know how to play receiver. It's amazing the Patriots didn't draft him because we missed with that draft pick 9 times. Yeah,
you'll get him for a 14th round pick. You'll trade for him.
Oh, I'm excited for it.
That'll be it, yeah. Detroit at Chicago. Are you excited for that?
No, I'm not excited for that at all. I have the Lions it's in the Vegas zone. I have the Lions by 5.
All right, I hit this exactly. It's 4 right now. Oh. Lions by 4. But we'll see. Chicago off a short week. Yeah.
I think I'm officially tired of reading and hearing and talking and making jokes about Jay Cutler. I'm burned out. I need a break.
It's enough, right?
I wish he did the Ricky Williams thing. He just went away for a year.
Well, for some reason, the networks decided to give them 17 night games, so that doesn't help. But
number 2 market.
This one's fortunately during the day. Cleveland at Carolina. Oh, man.
God. Oh, my God. I can't believe the Browns aren't favored in this game, but they're not going to be favored in this game. Panthers by 2.5.
I get this one too. I said 4, and it's 3.5.
All right, that's stupid. Come on.
Let's jump on the Browns here. This is where everyone abandoned them, right?
That's stupid. The Panthers, the Browns are half decent. That's dumb.
7-7 at 5-8-1. No guarantee Newton's playing.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
I'm not betting on the Browns, but that's dumb.
10 straight December losses though for the Browns.
Brian Hoyer should probably start this game.
You know what the thing with the money thing? Do you think Manziel regrets? At what point does he regret the whole money thing, like rubbing your fingers together? Because that is just thrown in his face by fans and like idiots like us and players, and just it was like George Bush with the mission accomplished. Like hey, mission accomplished. Like all right, everyone, shut up already. What is going to happen with this?
I think he has a lot of regrets about a lot of different variety of things. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good game. That's a good betting game. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Patriots at Jets.
I look forward to it. All right. Well, here's your first 3-team teaser.
No, second one. Packers we had. Packers they're not losing that game.
No. Oh, that's delicious.
Yeah.
I think this Pats game crept into double figures. And I think it's going to be 11.5.
Oh, you went to we split this. I said 9.5, and it's 10.5.
Now that's what I had originally.
But it's going to go up, and there's another one that's. Wait, do we have wait? Who's the third? Okay.
The third is any other team.
All right. Yeah. Jets, they can't keep this close, right? You beat them 27-25 on a block kick that Thursday night, but.
I have a lot of fears about this game. As you know, I just want 5 more games out of Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
This would be a game where I might not even play him, or play him like 15 snaps.
Really?
I do you feel like this would be the Rex Ryan's last revenge on the Pats, is to somehow hurt Gronkowski.
Yeah. Get them dumped. I saw 2 stats for the consecutive home conference wins for the Patriots. What did you see?
Well, we've won the division title every year except for the year Pollard ended Brady's season.
Yeah, no, but you had a home conference win streak, conference wins at home in the regular season. I saw 43, and then I saw 35.
No, I think it's 35. They have 35? That, and none of their division foes have swept the season series since Bledsoe was the key quarterback. That one's a good one, too. Yeah, there's some good stats, though.
That's insane, though. 35 straight home conference wins.
Yeah.
I did that thing where I went around the room with people I was watching with. I'm like, oh, my God. I saw ESPN stats, tweet it, and I said, how many consecutive conference wins do you think the Patriots have at home? And And, yeah, everyone says, 9, 15, 20, and then some jackass says 63, and it's like ruins the whole thing.
Doesn't that stat, though, I don't think, does it count playoff wins? Because they lost the Jets playoff win at home, and they lost the Ravens win at home. Right? Yeah. You know what's the funny thing about that stat is you know, there's some Pats home games where the crowd is just dead. Like the Miami crowd yesterday sucked. Right. That was like one of those pumping fake crowd noise games because the actual crowd was dead.
You really don't have a rivalry unless Peyton Manning comes to town. It's weird. He shouldn't be like that.
There's a Roethlisberger Steelers tension.
With the Patriots?
And they hate every Pats fan hates the Ravens. And it's always fun to beat the Jets. Right,
but the Steelers come to New England every 4 years, more than 4 years? I don't know what it would be.
Yeah, the Steelers-Pats is kind of a sneaky good rivalry. There's been a lot of good ones back and forth over the years.
Giants at Rams. That's a good rivalry. Flipper Anderson.
That's a horrible game. I got the Rams by 6.
I said 4.5. It is 4.5. Right in the biggest.
Killing me this week.
Yeah, I am beating you up. That was a bad Rams game. I liked them too Thursday night. 100-1 odds, by the way, that there'd be no touchdown in that Rams-Cardinals game.
We should have talked about that because if we had talked about that bet for a minute, I feel like we would have made it.
Yeah. What do you think of OBJ everyone's calling Odell Beckham OBJ now? I don't like it.
OBJ?
OBJ. They're calling him by his initials. I heard it like 10 times last night.
That's stupid. His name, what's a better name than Odell?
Exactly. Yeah. You're burying the Odell. And it's a combination of OJ and Old Dirty Bastard. He deserves better than that, I think.
Yeah. He's one of the winners of the season. I think he's an MVP candidate now.
It could be. Buffalo at Oakland.
Oh, God. These games suck. It's just like, this is like a suck week.
Yeah, it's not that good.
The Buffalo Bills favored by 5.5.
All right, that one you got exactly. Let's add these up. Maybe you're not doing it. 6 to... Oh, no, all right. I have 10-6. I'm winning, including ties. Yeah, I had 6. It is 5.5.
Listen, promise me something.
Yeah.
Don't let me put the Bills in as the third team of my 3-team teaser I'm going to do.
Well, it would make sense that after shutting down Manning and Rodgers, Derek Carr goes off, right?
And Kyle Orton just shouldn't be thrown in a tease in general.
Yeah.
You're only allowed to bet Kyle Orton straight up.
If he were a little better, this team could go far. They could win like 2-3 playoff games, I think.
Yeah, it's a good team. I like the Bills.
Bakari Rambo. That's new.
They lost Spiller, who, was kind of their home run guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like the Bills. I really like how they're playing. I like
how
they're
coached. They didn't even score an offensive touchdown yesterday. They get it done. All right, Colts at my Cowboys.
Yes. Cowboys by 3.5.
Well, here's what's weird. I'll give it to you. I said 4. I'm seeing, is someone injured? Who could be injured? I'm seeing Cowboys by 1.
That doesn't make
sense.
Can't be right.
True? I mean, the Colts don't need the game.
Cowboys by 1.
Well, let's do an interview. We'll take you now to the comments of Andrew the Giant Luck. Andrew, why even try this game? You have the division in hand, not catching Denver or New England. Any plan to lay down for the Cowboys this week at the Omni in Atlanta?
We're just not playing well right now. We're just not playing great football, and we need to have a good game. We need to build some momentum going into the playoffs, and I have a ton of respect for Tony Romo.
I hate that answer. You're right, too. If they had been hot, maybe they do lay down for this game.
Hold on, let me see. Last good Indianapolis game was...
Home against the Jaguars. Home against the Titans. Home against one of those.
Those don't count. Like, if you're a Colts fan, what was the last good game you felt? I guess it'd be Week 7 shutting out the Bengals.
Yeah.
So last time you're like, my team showed up against a decent to good team and we took care of business. It's the last time I feel good.
I thought they had Seahawks type defense in that game. Like that was going to put them in the top 2. Yeah.
And they should feel terrible about that Browns game, especially after watching what happened to the Browns this week.
So you're looking at, if they're a 3, they'll be a 3 seed, and they'll play either like the Bengals or Ravens or Steelers, probably. Do we think 3 teams are going from the north?
I do. Well, Cincy's the one that could screw it up.
If they lose 2, they have the tough games.
It's weird. The Cincy-Denver game is going to I'm sorry. Is it Cincy Denver? Is that this week?
That's this week. Yep.
Yeah. So that one's going to have a lot of ramifications because so if Cincy beats Denver, then here are the following effects. Cincy wins the division, I think. The Pats no longer have to try in Week 17 against Buffalo.
Right.
Buffalo then would have Oakland and then the Pats' second string in Week 17. So they make the playoffs too, possibly.
Well, Cincy wouldn't win the division necessarily, though. If they're 10-5 and Pittsburgh, if they're 10-5-1, if they're 10-4-1 and Pittsburgh is 10-5.
Well, that's the thing. So then Cincy would have to go to at Pittsburgh,
right? So they're playing.
So Pittsburgh could potentially
be 11-5.
The bottom line is, it's even stupid to talk about all these scenarios until we see Pittsburgh, KC.
Exactly.
And we see Cincinnati, Denver are the two swing games this week.
Let's at least see Tennessee, Jacksonville before we talk about any playoff implications.
I got to say, I would love to see Buffalo in the playoffs. I think that would be really fun.
It would be fun. I think they could upset teams. Sunday night, Seattle at Arizona.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do if you're the Cardinals?
I don't know. Logan Thomas? I mean, Stanton's out for a month at least, right? 4 weeks, I said?
Initially, I had Seahawks by 3, and then I was trying to think of a scenario where I would bet the Cardinals +3 in that game, and I couldn't come up with one, so I bumped it to Seahawks by 4.5.
Oh, wow. Well, it's 6.5. I said 6.5. It's 7.5.
Oh, my God.
And why? I don't know. This could be doubled. Seattle's not losing the rest of the year, I don't think. They beat them 19-3 a few weeks ago when they had Drew Stanton.
High, though. Here's the thing with Seattle, though. It's not like their offense is cranking out points every week.
They're winning the division. I don't think they're screwing around here.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm just saying. So they scored 20 in Week 11, 19 in Week 12, 19 in Week 13, 24 in Week 14, and 17 yesterday.
Yeah.
And this Arizona defense is the best defense they will have played out of all of those teams.
All right, but listen.
So they basically, like, if you're betting in the Seahawks, you're saying the Cardinals are scoring somewhere between 0 and 7 points in this game.
Well, they scored 12 last week.
Right, no, you can talk me into it.
You know, I just think Lindley, like these guys are due for how many interceptions do you think Lindley or Logan Thomas will throw against the Seattle defense? Couple.
Cards last 5 weeks, 14, 3, 18, 17, and 12.
Yeah, it's not that good. And that is why we're going Seattle, New England, Green Bay in our first 3-team teaser of the year. That can't lose.
Seattle's going to get the 1 seed. And Arizona's going to get the 5 seed, and they're going to have freaking Ryan Lindley or Logan Thomas as their quarterback, and freaking New Orleans is going to make round 2.
That's what I was just going to say that. I was like, now you're looking at an NFC South team could be in the second round. That's Seattle.
It's unbelievable.
Well, that's where we'll load up. And then Monday night, Denver at Cincinnati. We talked about this.
Yeah, I got Broncos by 4.
Finally, a good Monday night game. You're going to get this. I said 2.5, and it is 3.5. But I win the week.
All right, so we've seen a week like this every season. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 home dogs. Washington, Jets, Houston, Chicago, Tampa, Oakland, Arizona, and Cincy. The difference this time around is that a couple of those home dogs, it actually makes sense for them to lose.
Right.
If you're a Bucks fan, you want to lose. If you're a Raiders fan, you want to lose. If you're a Washington fan, I think you want to lose.
You're a Jet fan,
But normally, history says, if you're a Jets fan, you want to lose. History says normally when we have this many home dogs, all hell breaks loose, and it's a crazy week, and the home dogs go like 6-2, and the whole thing.
They might cover, but you think you see Washington beating Philly or Houston could beat Baltimore.
Have we had a gambling version of the Red Wedding Game of Thrones scene yet this season?
Wasn't it the one you wrote about? Wasn't it week 11? Who lost that week?
It was, but it wasn't. Oh, no, I'm going to look at week 11.
What was that week? You called it in your column, and then
I did, but
12.
I called a couple of them, right? I called.
Well, KC lost to Oakland. Wasn't that week?
Well, there was one where it was that what the one it was? Yeah, KC was, that was week 12. Yeah. Oakland beat KC.
Maybe that wasn't it. I don't know. But did Miami beat Denver that week? No, Denver won that game. I can't remember which week it was.
I don't think we've had it, Sal.
No?
I don't think we've had the Red Wedding weekend yet.
Wow.
Could be this weekend.
I don't know why. I thought there were a couple.
Yeah.
Oh, Denver lost to St. Louis. Wasn't that one? And
oh, that was the same one, right?
No,
yeah.
I don't know.
No, we haven't had the bloodbath weekend.
Right. Oh,
we haven't had the one where we've talked on Monday and you talked about how everyone got killed.
Oh, it's not fair when we have to buy gifts and everything to do it this week, is it?
I know.
Bad times.
All right. Cuz, what do you got to plug?
That's it. Jimmy Kimmel Live, Emily Blunt, Lee Pace, music by Alt J tonight. Later in the week, Garth Brooks, Tracy Ullman, Michael Keaton, and the great Mel Brooks. Garth and Mel Brooks together again. Grantland, I'll have a lot to say about the Tennessee-Jacksonville game in my Thursday prop column. And Sports Center, Thursday night, Friday morning. Undefeated the last 4 weeks. I was 1-0-2 yesterday. And it'll be on Thursday night and Friday morning.
And you've actually got press coverage last week for how hot your Sports Center picks were.
It's really dumb. And thanks for the party. That was a lot of fun, that the Grantland party. And you
pleasure.
guys, if you persevere, you can be invited next year.
The best thing about your streak is you're being self-deprecating and pretending it's not the greatest thing that's ever happened to you in the history of your life. But I know you much better than that. How many hours a week are you now spending on your picks? Like 35 hours a week now?
It's crazy at my house watching these games, and then having finally to settle in for the Cowboys Eagles, where I tell everyone, I'm like, you guys have to leave the house, and they're like, no, we live here. You leave the house, and then it's too late for me to scramble to find the deed to see who's actually on it, and so I lock myself in a room and scream at the TV all day.
Because, as always, good job by you.
Good job by you, Belly.
Target % off. Whoa.
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.
Geico presents Strange Savings Stories. Astronomers detected an interstellar transmission. It stated, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The implications were staggering. Was the cosmos telling us we could all save hundreds on car insurance with Geico? Or did their radar merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show? We may never know.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.